Hello and welcome back to the Geevor Podcast. After the success of our last two episodes, we are back again for episode 3. Previously, I've been joined by 2 former miners, but this week I've got a different treat in store for you all. Today I am joined by Dr Sam Hughes, aka Cornwall Geologist. Sam's a tour guide here at Geevor who joined the team back in the summer. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks for having me along.
Enjoyed it so far?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, it's brilliant. Obviously, Geevor's so close to me. I came here when I was a kid, school visits and things like that. And now to be able to say that I work here as well is fantastic. And everyone here has been super lovely. Obviously, I'm not an ex-miner, not even Cornish. Somehow you still accepted me onto the team. But it's great. I'm loving it.
It's a good feeling, isn't it, working here after coming here for so many years? Because I did the same as a kid. I was here constantly alongside, being taught underground by my granddad and everything. And then, eventually worked alongside him for a bit and now work here myself. So,
well, that's it. I mean, it's great that we've still got the ex-miners here, but the poor devils aren't getting any younger, are they? So they're going to have to settle for us eventually. But obviously, you've got that link with your granddad being a miner here and... me being a geologist, I spent my entire life studying the geology of Cornwall, so I can at least bring a little bit to the table.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, well,
pure nepotism.
That's it, exactly. Well, I like to think I know just as much about the geology beneath our feet than the miners did, obviously digging the rock out, so...
Well, you know certainly more than I do, so it's handy having you on here today, because you can hopefully teach me and the listeners as well, so...
I will try my best.
There we go. You've been here for 4 months now?
Yeah, since July.
Summer to winter, which is a big difference.
It's amazing how dynamic it is, and go from the way things run in the summer, where you're kind of in a position on the underground or in the mill, and the amount of footfall is fantastic. But now in the winter, obviously quite quiet.
Yeah, it changes a lot. So,
but obviously the other thing I like to hopefully get involved in here is dealing with the kind of learning and outreach. And the school groups that come in the winter, but also getting my hands dirty with some of the odd jobs that I need doing around the site as well.
A bit of maintenance.
Yeah, that's it. No.
So, obviously, you said you're not Cornish yourself.
No.
Where were you born then?
I'm from York originally. That's why I'm the Cornwall Geologist and not the Cornish Geologist, because there's probably certain members of staff here that would lynch me if I call myself Cornish.
Yeah, we're not going to name drop anyone.
No. We'll try not to. But yeah, I was born in York and moved to Cornwall in the mid-90s to St Ives with my family. And so school down here. And that's why I'm kind of getting into geology. I didn't know it at the time, but as a kid, like most kids do, like collecting shiny rocks and minerals and things. And then kind of realizing that, I can get paid to do this. This is great. So it was the fascination of the landscape around us as well. Yeah, I've always had this fascination of the Cornish landscape and the mining history and how that's all kind of linked together. And that's what really then, sent me on to being a geologist.
So you picked it up from very young then?
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, like I say, now looking back on it, I can connect the dots, but I didn't know geology was a thing until I went to do my A-levels. And when I did that, I picked geology as a fourth subject and fell in love with it. And
so it wasn't the first one on your list then?
No, it wasn't. No, because I didn't really even want to do A-levels. I wanted to go and do carpentry.
That's what I ended up doing. I'm here anyway.
Well, there we go. Yeah, swings and roundabouts. But no, I found geology as an A-level, did that. But for me, I love Cornwall. I love being here and don't see myself living anywhere else. And for that reason, I wasn't going to be a geologist that goes to far-flung places. Yeah, I wanted to be down here. And that then steered me. I went to university to study geology, and fantastic down here. We've got the Cornwall School of Mines. Yeah. And when I went to university, there's a second year where the School of Mines, which is part of the University of Exeter, department within now, and they moved to a new campus just outside of Penryn. And so it was an opportunity for me to stay in Cornwall, but study this subject, which I loved. And I did the degree, really enjoyed it. But again, when it gets to the end of the degree, when all of my kind of classmates were going all around the world to get geology jobs in Australia, in Africa, in Canada, I still was, pretty stubborn and wanting to stay here. And so fundamentally, I wanted to learn more about Cornish geology, so I then did a PhD looking at granites, the granites that we're kind of sat on right now, and became a lecturer for 15 years studying geology at the Cornwall School of Mines. So pretty institutionalised.
That's quite the, well, I think I agree with you definitely. I don't think I would ever want to live anywhere else at all.
No,
but yeah, I mean, have you explored quite a lot of the world then in this job that you've got, or have you feel like you've missed out slightly?
It's one of those things. I've been very fortunate enough to go to some really cool places. I've spent a lot of time running field trips in Scotland. I've run a field trip to Cyprus. I've been to Spain to look at the geology. I've been to Scandinavia as well. So I've been to quite a few places. Yeah,
certainly.
There's more I'd like to see. Geology is global at the end of the day,
of course. Yeah,
but no, I'm very much kind of happy with how things have ended up. I'm happy with the career that I've forged and the position I'm in now. And like I say, bringing it all
given into place.
Exactly. Yeah. Given what I can give to Geevor really in terms of, can bring that kind of geology knowledge to the place.
So for listeners who don't know, what is it that makes Cornwall's geology, unique compared to the rest of the UK and perhaps, places like you said, Spain and Scandinavia you visited as well?
Yeah. So there's two things really, kind of from a purely academic sense. Cornwall has almost a little bit of everything in terms of geological processes. We've got all the different rock types. We've been plate boundaries in geological history, which have smashed up the rocks and things like that. And we've even got a fragment of ocean crust, which is kind of down on the lizards. So really exotic rocks that you kind of don't get in many places around the world. But from an economic standpoint, it's the geology which is the reason why Cornwall has its mining, because it's the geological processes that have enriched metals in the Earth's crust to levels that we as humans deem economically viable. So understanding the geology means better understanding these mineral deposits, the tin and the copper, etc., that have been mined here for literally millennia.
So you lectured for, was it 15 years you said?
15 years, yeah. So I left last year, and in the intervening time, I've set up a little company called Cornwall Geologist, kind of built out of my kind of social media page. I started putting posts up about rocks and bits around Cornwall about 10 years ago now, and people seem to really like it, and that's gone really well. And people always said to me, "Oh, you should do guided tours, guided walks around Cornwall." So I set that up, and that's what the basis of the company is, doing these kind of guided walks, but also as well, education and outreach.
Yeah.
I'm not a businessman. I'm not really doing it to make a ton, but really enjoying it. But as a kind of an aside, working here at Geevor, I think the two kind of complement each other really well. So working here part time has allowed that to build.
Well, it's the passion side of it, isn't it? If you enjoy your job, you're not really working, are you? To be fair,
exactly. And I like to think that if you find a job you love, you never really work a day in your life.
Not my deal.
And I never see myself retiring. It's that kind of obsession with kind of just wanting to learn more.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a never-ending pit of knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as it pays the bills, then that's all
right. You said obviously you started the company and it, went through initially through social media.
Yeah.
You've got quite a big following on Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah, reasonably so. Just under 20,000 followers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. People like rocks, apparently.
Well, there you go.
Geologists are always at the butt end of all jokes, but beloved, really.
Your name on Instagram is Cornwall Geologist.
It is.
This always makes me laugh, so I fancy bringing it up. What was it before?
So when I started to just post pictures of rocks, being that I'm from St. Ives, I thought I'd
York.
Sorry, yes. Sorry, Colin. So I grew up in St. Ives, so I call myself the St. Ives Geologist. Didn't put a dot in between the St. and the Ives. And there were several people that thought I was called Steve. Steve the Geologist. So That alongside the fact that it was growing a little bit, and I decided to choose the name to Cornwall. So yeah.
Oh, I find that so funny. Sorry. No, that's fine. Thanks for bringing that up. No worries. No, I can see where the controversy would come from locally if you were called Cornish Geologist.
No, I'm not stupid like that. No, I realise I'm very, very proud of my roots as well. Yeah, this is from my mum. This, yeah, no, I'm proud to say that I'm a Yorkshireman, but also, like I say, I was schooled down here. I know more about the rocks beneath her feet than most folk, and works at a mining school down here for 15 years. So I like to think that.
Yeah, you know your stuff.
I know my stuff. Get away with it, but I take offence to being called an emmet now. But a blow in, that's fine. Yeah, it's all right.
So you do these things that's attached to your page, don't you? Called Geo Walks and Geo Talks.
Yeah, that's it. So effectively, like underneath Cornwall Geologist, so Geo Walks, Geo Talks is effectively guided walks of the Cornwall Geo Walks. Geo Talks. Occasionally, I do kind of lectures and talks around the county and things. So the Geo Walks in particular, this is really what the whole idea was born out of, is just people wanting to know a little bit more. And Cornwall has such a diversity of rock types, and people are interested in it. People when they're out walking and they want to know a little bit more. Well, effectively, you're paying for me to kind of go along with you.
Yeah.
People can either book onto the Geo Walks, which I advertise on the website, or they can book a private tour if there's a group of them, etc. That means they can go where they want and when they want and things like that. At the moment, I'm doing most of them kind of around West Cornwall, around Lizard, and places where that will kind of broaden out, further around the area as it goes. But yeah, it's going well so far. Like I say, it's nice just to let this thing grow organically as well in terms of getting more people interested. But a typical walk, we arrive at a place, we then go for a little wander around. It's not a whole lot of walking. It's more kind of talking around, talking and looking at the rocks. And really what I like to try and do is translate what can be quite complex
thing there, definitely,
into something which is understandable. And so whether it's a half-day walk or a full-day walk, people aren't going to fully understand everything they see, but hopefully they come away from it knowing a bit more, but also really just having just this awe of the kind of amazing geology that we have here, and what it means, is how it's impacted, humans, how it's impacted the way we live, the history, the archaeology, whether that's the mining history all the way back, to prehistory, in terms of how it might have influenced what we see around the place.
Obviously, you've done, I presume, quite a few walks so far, and
got one this Friday.
Oh, there you go.
Where's Leaf? Where's that to wrap out? It's that's down Coverack.
Nice.
Yeah, so Coverack's, I mentioned the Lizard, really, really wacky rocks down there. Effectively, if you go back 300 million years ago, Cornwall was actually at the centre of a giant mountain chain called the Verruska Mountains. And this is effectively where two tectonic plates collided. And for most people, you might have heard of the kind of supercontinent Pangaea, this time when all the Earth's continents were as one. And when that formed, these kind of tectonic plates floating around and colliding into each other, the point at which this supercontinent formed and these two plates beforehand collided, Cornwall was effectively a ground zero.
Right.
And you had a subduction zone, so this old ocean that was in between was subducted and disappeared down to the mantle, and eventually two continents collided. But as that did so, the kind of plate that kind of risen up and over the top of us ripped up a fragment of this old ocean and dumped it on top of the continent. It's called abduction. And that's allowed us to see this fragment of this old ocean now, the remnants of which we see on the Lizard. And as well as this oceanic crust, there's also the bit of the upper mantle as well. And what you actually see down at Coverack is this transition from oceanic crust, or rocks that make up the oceanic crust, into mantle rocks. Lizard's famous for the rock serpentine or serpentinite, and these are old mantle rocks. And if you go down to Coverack, you can actually walk through that transition. And actually, again, the point of the walk is that rather than saying, "Oh, right, this is where it is," you can actually see that and see how the rocks change. So if you want to learn more, then please do come and book yourself.
There you go, a bit of a
Not building
free promotion.
Yeah, I'm not giving too much away at this stage. You need to pay if you want to learn more.
Well, yeah. So it's like, yeah, people pay to hear about this stuff, because could they just naturally walk past that and not even notice it, or?
Luckily at Coverack is one of the few places in Cornwall where there's actually an information board.
Oh, right, there you go.
Geology, but I do think there needs to be more of that dotted around the place. But I do walks around here as well, the Tin Coast,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and again, the geology around here is super complicated, but it's really looking at how the geology has influenced the mining, of which this coastline is so famous for. You know, from Batalic, for Levant, and of course here at Geevor as well.
Obviously, doing so many of these walks, then you must get quite a few people who, well, don't know much about geology at all, and you must get quite a few people who do know quite a bit as well. And
it is diverse.
So it's almost like that here with the tours and stuff. If you're touring 11, 1 and 3, you get some people who've never even, they have no idea. But then you get some people who've visited so many mines across the country and the world almost that know a lot as well. So
yeah, it's difficult. You need to go in, and I always say just pitch at the kind of lowest level in terms of understanding, just so you can build up from there. But I know running the tours here, it was a couple of months ago, and this group had just come down through the mill, and they came at the bottom of the mill. I said, do you want to know any questions about the mill, anything that you've seen? And then I noticed actually that a person within this group was a fella that I used to work with at CSN, who is a mineral processor, and he could have probably told me more about that mill than I could have told him. But so it is I tried to know your audience.
yeah,
But no, on the most part, like I say, it's people who just, I think everybody has an interest in it.
Mm.
It's just how far you want to kind of go to learn that. And obviously, if you've gone to the point of wanting to book on a geo walk, or even come here to Geevor, I think that's you saying that you want to learn more. And
certainly, yeah. But we get so many people come here, and I've experienced it loads of times, who people come down as a family or something, and one of them doesn't really want to go, and they end up being the one out of the 4 or 5 of them that loved it the most and asked all the questions. But it just sort of drags people in, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know, you find it here at Geevor as well, like with these things, people don't often know it's there. Yeah, the people, even local people who might know Geevor but haven't been here before, people come down the holiday and they just stumble across us. And it's the same as the geo walks as well. If people come on it, it's like, yes, I really enjoyed this. I want to learn more. And like I say, people walking around Geevor and things like that, and just kind of, wow, I didn't know this was here before. Whether it's understanding of mining processes, etc., the kind of more engineering side of it, or it's just actually understanding the people, about it affected as well.
It just baffles me sometimes that people don't know we're here, because obviously we're in this tiny little area of Pendeen. And when I tell people that we have upwards, sometimes we've had like 1,000 people a day here, I can't ever think I've ever seen 1,000 people in Pendeen. On site here, it feels absolutely rammed when we hit 1,000. But my first day here, we had a very small handful, and then the next day was 900. So it can quite literally go from here, well, bottom to top almost. It's pretty crazy.
But it's the thing I love most about this job is, you're working on site. It's a great group of people that you're working with. Yeah, I actually got time to absorb every square inch of this site, which you do need more than one day to really take in.
No, exactly.
I've been here for 4 months now. I'm still finding information boards.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I've been here for, well, it was a year in July, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
And you literally learn new things every day.
Yeah.
Whether that's from, books or things online, or even just obviously speaking to people who've been there and done it, you learn things every single day.
Yeah.
And despite having this sort of tin mining stuff drilled into my head as a kid, I still don't know probably even half of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. But it's been open to learn more. But the thing I love most is the fact that we're getting paid. I'm getting paid to talk to people who are really interested to learn about the mining history, the mining processes, the geology, and they want to be getting paid to ask questions, to talk about the things that I love the most. It's great. I absolutely love it.
Well, like we said at the start, if you're enjoying work, you're not really working, are you?
Yeah.
I said previously about, obviously, you've been to so many different places, whether in the UK or around the world. What would you say is sort of the highlight, the best place you've ever been to in terms of, in link with your career anyway?
Okay, well, let's take Cornwall out of this question. And again, also it's Cornwall. I can't really say anything other, even if I wanted to.
No,
but because it is, because that's obviously where I literally built my career around is understanding, Cornwall's geology. Literally did a PhD in it. I loved it that much. But if you take that out of the equation, it's Scotland. I know doesn't sound very exotic.
No,
but
I was waiting for sort of Spain or,
No, I'd see. I go. You do see some amazing geology in all these places, but I love Scotland, and the geology of Scotland is incredible. It's so diverse and it's just so big. And what I love most about it is relatively on our doorstep as well.
No, yeah, it's not. Yeah,
we said about Cornwall having this diversity of geology. We just look at the British Isles as a whole. It's just fantastic. But I've spent a lot of time in Scotland. It was really where, when I was an undergraduate student, I did a trip there to the Isle of Rum. And that it was on that trip when I was like, academia, this is what I love doing most. I've then ran trips up there, whether it's the Isle of Rum, been to the Isle of Skye many times, and just on holidays as well, kind of exploring around the whole place, and I just love it.
I can imagine a holiday for you and your wife is probably based around geology.
It must be so. It is. No, Jenna, my wife, she's got countless photographs, like selfies of her. We're on a lovely walk, and I'm kind of turn around, face to the ground, see you there, the human rocks. It's a blessing of the curse, because obviously I like to learn more and understand more about the landscape, but I can't just go for a walk and enjoy the scenery.
No, you can't. Especially in a place you haven't been before. It's all just like a dog with so many smells then, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, like I said, you think all that time we spend sat in the crosscut. Down on the underground, and
like forever. Isn't it?
We all have our own ways of kind of maybe passing the time, but for me, it's kind of just trying to understand a very little bit of because it is great. Obviously, the geology down is fantastic. People. This is a thing. If I'm sat in the underground, people get a proper ear chewing of
what's around them,
what geology is, rather than obviously the mining processes as well. I talk more about kind of the geological processes.
Well, that's the different sort of thing you bring here, though, isn't it? There's not that many people here we've got on site that can, give that level of detail.
I didn't just I didn't drill and blast it. I actually kind of try to understand a bit more. But like I said, it's great. I like to think that I'm adding something a bit different, compared to the other guys here.
So as a whole, then, how long is this entire sort of Cornwall Geologist, almost like umbrella, as you like, with the geo talks and the walks and the social media as a whole? How long's that been going on?
Social media has been going on for 10 or more years now, but in terms of the company I set up, it's about a year that has been going, and it's going well, and hopefully it will start to go even better.
Yeah. You just going with the flow at the minute, or is there an aim at the end, or
keep paying the bill?
No, very real of you.
What's been, it's just perfect. Like getting this job here at Geevor, it's kind of taken the pressure off of trying to build the company, and they work really well together. Like I say, I'm here as a tour guide.
Yep.
But I'm also got to be here, whether helping Clint and Mark with the education and outreach, building some geology workshops, at different levels as well.
Because you've done a couple of little ones in the Gilbert room already, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they went pretty well, didn't they?
They went really, we went really well, and kind of trying to build that, like I say, education outreach, getting more young people interested in potential careers in mining and geology, but that's also the young kids, and just getting them excited about rocks and minerals, but then also later school years and beyond, kind of just trying to build back and get more people interested in Geevor from a museum perspective and its historical perspective, but also mining for the future as well, which hopefully might be back in Cornwall again, maybe not here at Geevor, but and so it's getting people interested in it. So it's kind of what's really nice. Cornwall Geologist and working here at Geevor just complement each other really well. and loving life. It's great.
That's good to hear, certainly.
Yeah.
Obviously, we haven't had too much time really to talk about the geology of Geevor itself. We are running out of time a little bit, unfortunately.
Well, maybe I'll have to come back on and
Definitely, 100%.
I'll just do an entire podcast on the geology of Geevor, which I could easily fill.
3 hours, 4 hours.
We want to keep people listening.
Well, this one's gone very well so far, but I've got one more question for you. Okay. It's not a very specific question, really. It's just, is there anything else you'd like the listeners to know before you head off? Other than please come on my walks.
Yeah, well, first of all, hopefully you're still listening. I realise that I'm coming after Grant and Steve, who are ex-Geevor miners, and I can sit and listen to them. I mentioned about the great things about working here at Geevor. Listening to the ex-miners,
That's one of them, yeah.
it's just brilliant. And so I feel like a bit of a fraud coming on there. At least your granddad was a miner here, so you've got that link.
There you go.
But no, so yeah, thank you if you have been listening to this long. But yeah, if you want to learn more about the geology, yeah, you can get in touch. Obviously, either come down here to Geevor and have a chat, or search the website, Cornwall Geologist. You can find me on the various social media platforms as well, Instagram, Facebook, etc. And I say I'm always willing to talk about the geology of Cornwall.
Fantastic. We'll definitely have you back on. If you are interested, like Sam said, we will drop all of his social links in the description below so you can check that out. If not, come to Geevor and see him for yourself. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on, Sam. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Charlie. It's been an honour.